Okay, so this second video in the Titan 1M series is to put some holes on the top surface of the part. So if we look at that, you'll see that they have dimensions always coming from the top left corner, and they've got dimensions going across the part this direction, dimensions going across the part this direction. They tell you the diameter chamfer, 0.205, and that it's going to be a 1032 tapped hole that is 0.380 deep. And typical means that's going to be the same for all of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the hole wizard so that we can use some feature-based recognition later on when we program the part, because it's going to have a drilled hole and tap threads and a countersink all in one. So back in SolidWorks, if you haven't opened up your first lesson, go ahead and do so, and then click on the top of the model, click on the hole wizard. So first thing you want to do, I like to view this in the normal to view, looking straight down at the top, and then we need to decide what kind of hole type are we going to be using. So we're going to be using a straight tap, so we can click on the straight tap and then continue down. We are going to be in ANSI inch, and it is going to be a tapped hole. So if you need to select different, you can go ahead and click in those. Go back to our print and make sure that we are correct on the 1032 for the tap. So in here you want to find the 1032 and then show the custom sizing. If that check mark isn't checked, you can check that. And they want to know how wide is our hole going to be and what degree is it going to be. So the hole that we would use to tap it is a 1.772 carbide drill, and I got that off of Titan's setup sheet. So we'll put 1.772, and then we'll leave the 118 degrees for the tip. We are going to go blind. And remember, it was 380. I believe Titan goes 0.580, 200 thousandths more than the tap for a couple of reasons. So the lead in on the tap, there's always a lead in on the tap, and he explains that in his video that there's about 100 thousandths lead in. So we're going to go down with our tap at 0.480, so we get full threads at 380. So we'll change this to be in blind and down 0.480. So we're drilling 0.58 and we're threading 0.48, but we won't have threads all the way down. Now we've got with thread callout and a near side countersink. So this was where he had his countersink at 0.205 for the countersink. So, and 45 degrees would be correct. So we're going to go ahead and now position our holes. So once you're done with this type tab and you got all those settings, then you're going to click on positions, and you can bring your cursor in and you can kind of come over by the corner here. You had a hole there, and if you look back here, you had a hole down a little bit from that one, kind of had one down in the center, lower, and back up here, and you can start to bring these holes. So we want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. So this one was down just a little bit. This one was down in the center. This one was over here. We're just sketching. And see how you can align them a little bit with each other. Those are kind of handy. So those would be like that. So you can use those to kind of help you smart align. Then you got to get your smart dimension tool because you've got blue points here. We want them to be all black. And that's where we can start giving it some dimensions. And we want to give as few of dimensions as possible. So I remember that this one from the center point, get that orange point, click once, then come over to the left line and click again and come up above. I remember that one was 0.15. So now we've got that one defined this way, but it's not black geometry until we define it from the center point. So the orange dot, click to the top line. We come over this way, 0.15. So now we've got a black point for that drill, and it's not going to be able to be moved unless you change the dimensions. Now I'm using my mouse wheel to roll in and out on the model because I'm going to give myself some space to continue adding dimensions. If you click and drag your dimensions, you can do that as well. So maybe you want to make it so it's easier to read. So now I look back at the print and see that this next one is down from the top line down 0.3. So would this one be? And then from the left line to the center is 1.15. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go from here to the top line, bring that past the other dimension, 0.3. And then we're kind of in, this isn't nice, so I'm going to move this up above so it doesn't get cut off. And then we're going to go from the point to the edge of the line, and we're going to go above that dimension, and we're going to go 1.15. Okay, so that one we have black geometry on as well. So we'll go ahead and keep going. We'll go back and look at the print. 2 inches and 1.216. So from here to the top line, 1.216. Notice this is only to 2 decimal places. If you come over to the left and go 0.123, you'll get your 3rd decimal place. Then we wanted to go from the center point to the left line, and that was going to be 2. So that one is black geometry. Now, we're going to go ahead and escape out of the dimension tool. So press your escape key. And so now we're going to give these points some relations to each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that this point, so you're going to, well, let's start up here. Let's start at the top corner. This point here, if you click on it, and then now hold your control key down on your keyboard and come over and select the far right point. There's a little menu that pops up and you can say make horizontal. So now you've got a relation between these 2 points that they're horizontal. So you can see now that you could add it over here as well, but you've got a horizontal relationship over here. If you don't see these little things, you can go into this little eyeglass and you can turn on your relations. They'll disappear if they're not on. So once you do that, you can turn them on and look at them if you'd like. All right, so in order to get this to be black geometry, we would smart dimension, and we'd only need, since we already know that it's the same horizontal, we don't need the 0.15 again, so you don't clutter your drawing up. All you would need to do is smart dimension from this point to this point, or again, keeping consistent, we could go from, I'm going to escape out of that 1 second, from this line to this line. Now we know that it's 3.850, or if you minus off 0.15, you'd get that. So you could, if you didn't know that number, you could do it this way. You could say, let SolidWorks do your math, say 4 minus 0.15, and it would give you the correct dimension. I'm probably going to give myself a little more room because I got to sneak one more dimension in there from here to here. Let's see what that is on the print. 2.85. So in here we'll go 2.85. And if you hit escape out of that, you'll see that is still blue. But rather than give it the dimension from here to here, we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to click on it, hold the control down, and click on the other one and make them horizontal. Either click it here or click it here. So then, now we've got these 2 points horizontal and these 2 points horizontal. This one and this one line up vertically. So what you could do is you could say, click on this one, click on control and hold it while you click the other point and say make vertical. So now that's vertical. You can click on this one and click on this one and say make vertical. And then these 2 points, if you click on those two with the control key, you can make those horizontal. So now all you need to do is give it the dimension from here down to that one there. So if you look, that's 1.70. So get your Smart Dimension tool, go from the top line to the point, can't remember what it was and you need to do math, you can do 1.9 minus 0.15, 1.75. Let's check the print, 1.75. Alright, so hopefully you've got your dimensions all neat and easy to read, and you've got all black points. So when you hit the green check mark and you hit the green check mark again on the hole position, you can click on this box, come down and over to trimetric, and you can look to see that you've got all of your holes, and you can hold your mouse key down and look down inside the part, but you have all of your holes with threads in one step. So you've got a feature called the Hole Wizard 1032 tabbed hole one. So save your work. This is going to be my second. Feature lesson. Let's call it Hole Wizard. You can just save and replace your file. All right. We'll see you at the next lesson.